and bind it round the temples, I at once retire. The 29th said, I am called Anosta. I give rise to uterine mania, and pains in the bladder. If one powders into pure oil 3 seeds of laurel, and smear it on, saying, I exorcise thee, Anosta. Stop, by Marmarat. At once shall I retreat. And the 30th said, I am called Aliborith. If in eating fish, one has swallowed a bone, then he must take a bone from the fish, and cough, and at once I retreat. These spirits, from the 28th to the 30th, were the 3 decans of the zodiacal sign, Capricorn, or the goat. The 31st spirit said, I am called Hephesimareth, and I cause lingering disease. If you throw salt, rubbed in the hand, into oil, and smear it on the patient, saying, Seraphim, cherubim, help me, I at once retire. The 32nd said, I am called Ichthion. I paralyze muscles, and contuse them. If I hear, Adonith, help me, I at once retire. And the 33rd said, I am called Iconian. I lie among swaddling clothes, and in the precipice. And if anyone writes on fig leaves, Lycurgos, taking away one letter at a time, and write it, reversing the letters, like so, Lycurgos, Hecurgos, Kurgos, Ergos, Goes, Os. I retire at once. These spirits, from 31st to 33rd, were the 3 decans of the zodiacal sign, Aquarius, or the water-bearer. The 34th spirit said, I am called Autothith. I cause grudges and fighting. Therefore, I am frustrated by Alpha and Omega, if written down. The 35th said, I am called Thanoth. I cast evil eye on every man. Therefore, the suffering eye, if it be drawn, frustrates me. And the 36th said, I am called Byanakith, and I have a grudge against the body. I lay houses to waste, I cause flesh to decay, and all else that is similar. If a man writes on the front door of his house, Melto, Ardu, Anath, I flee from that place. These spirits, from the 34th to the 36th, were the 3 decans of the zodiacal sign, Pisces, or the fish. Having heard all of this, Solomon commanded them to fetch water in the temple of God. But they resisted, just as they warned him they would. And Solomon prayed to the Lord God, to cause the demons to be bound, and made to approach the temple. Then he condemned some of them to do the heavy work of the construction of the temple of God, and some of them he shut up in prisons. And others he condemned them to wrestle with fire, in the making of gold and silver, sitting down by lead and spoon, and to make ready places for the other demons, who would also be confined. After the 36 spirits and the spirits before them had all been bound, Solomon had much quiet in all the earth, and spent his time in profound peace, honored by all men, and by everything under heaven. With the help of the demons, he built the entire temple of the Lord God, and his kingdom was prosperous. His army was with him, and the city and people of Jerusalem had serenity, rejoicing and delighted. All the kings of the earth came to him, from the ends of the earth, to behold the temple which he built. And having heard of the wisdom given to him, they paid homage to him in the temple, bringing gold and silver and precious stones, bringing bronze, iron, lead, and cedar logs. They also brought him woods that do not decay, for the equipment of the temple. Among them also, the Queen of the South, being a witch, came in curiosity, and bowed low before the king. She tried all of his wisdom, and he instructed her, according to the wisdom imparted to him. One day, one of his workmen, of ripe old age, threw himself down before his throne, and said, "King Solomon, pity me, because I am old." Solomon bade him to stand up, saying, "Tell me, old man, all you will." And the old man answered, "I beg you, king, I have an only-born son, and he insults and beats me publicly, and plucks out the hair of my head, and threatens me with a painful death. Therefore, I beg you, avenge me." And Solomon felt pity on him, as he looked at his old age, and commanded that the child be brought to him. When he was brought, Solomon questioned him as to whether his father's accusations were true. And the youth said, "I was never so filled with madness that I would strike my father with my own hand. Be kind to me, O king, for I would not dare commit such impiety, poor wretch that I am." On hearing this from the youth, and not sure which to believe, Solomon urged the old man to reflect on the matter, and accept his son's apology. However, the old man would not listen, and insisted he would rather let him die. And as the old man would not yield, Solomon was about to pass sentence on the youth, when he saw Orneas the demon, laughing. He was furious at the demon laughing in his presence, and ordered his men to lead the father and son outside for a moment, and bring Orneas forward before his tribunal. When Orneas was brought before him, Solomon said to him, "Accursed one, why did you look at me and laugh?" And the demon answered, "I pray thee, king, it was not because of you I laughed, but because of this ill-fated old man, and the wretched youth, his son. For after 3 days, his son will die untimely, and here stands the old man, desiring to foully make away with him." Solomon said to the demon, "Is what you say true?" And he answered, "It is true, O king." And Solomon bade them to remove the demon, and that they should again bring before him the old man with his son. He told them to make friends with one another, and supplied them with food. Then he told the old man to bring his son to him again, after 3 days. And they saluted him, and went their way. When they had gone, Solomon again had the demon Orneas brought before him, and said to him, "Tell me, how do you know this?"